think the hardest thing is to give your time and talents, harder than giving money. People generally will give money according to their means and according to their desires. It's a lot easier than putting in your time. And your time and talents, I think, is what we owe to society, more so than our financial resources. And I tell that to my grandchildren. And when it's all said and done, your time, your money, all that will be gone. But if you handle things right, you'll have left your mark. And that's what's lasting.
Good afternoon. I'm Deborah Lee, Board Chair of the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. I'd like to welcome you to our first ever virtual event to celebrate our 35th anniversary and all the work we have accomplished together. As we just heard from Alex Didier, the founder of the foundation, the Central Minnesota Community Foundation has been working together with you, our local donors, nonprofits, and professional advisors to build community through philanthropy. We thank you for being our partners in positive change for 35 years. Now, I'm honored to introduce the Executive Director of the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, Carol Turneau.
Thank you, Deborah. On behalf of the board and the staff, we want to thank all of you for joining us this afternoon as we celebrate philanthropy at work. So many of you have helped us to grow this foundation over the last 35 years. I want to turn our attention to two people who have made a major impact on the foundation that we lost this past year, George Torrey and Barb Carlson. George Torrey was a board member for the foundation and served on several of our committees over the years. We appreciated his business acumen and his belief that giving back to a community is important. Just want to share a message from George about how they felt about the Community Foundation.
The foundation is a vehicle that I'm convinced will always have a good board which will monitor investments and the giving of money. And it's a way that we can keep distributing our gifting to the charities that we feel good about long after we're dead. Mm-hmm. And it's the only vehicle I know of that can do that over a broad base. There are a lot of other foundations and funds which are specifically one use oriented, but the Community Foundation is broad-based, locally, nationally, wherever we'll distribute the dollars to charity.
Barb Carlson worked for the foundation for several years, and we were blessed to have her. She had this great way of being able to connect people with what their interests were. She also was instrumental in starting our Women's Fund. It was her vision and passion for women that really helped to set the tone for this fund and it continues to thrive today. Barb also had a great way of talking about philanthropy and the idea of giving.
Giving of anything, of your time, of your talent, of your passion, your energy, your resources, is what makes living worthwhile.
We know that many of you join us in being grateful for what George and Barb gave back to the community. They will truly be missed.
Today, we stand in the middle of dual pandemics of coronavirus and systemic and structural racism. The Central Minnesota Community Foundation is standing up for the health, safety, and emotional well-being of our entire community in a way we have not witnessed before. There's always room to grow, learn, and discover, to find in ourselves the humility, openness, and heart to be and do better. Because of you, Philanthropy is busy working to assure all people have the opportunity to thrive when they call Central Minnesota their home.
Philanthropy can help fortify and rebuild communities. It can champion, support, and strengthen nonprofit organizations. Philanthropy can raise crucial concerns such as equity that might get overlooked. But it is important to reiterate that philanthropic acts in a vacuum can accomplish only so much. In order to significantly help communities and navigate any crisis, philanthropy has to be coordinated with many partners.
And for 35 years, that's exactly what we've done as partners in philanthropy at work at the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. Over the years, we have distributed over $119 million in grants to nonprofits in the greater St. Cloud area. Through our partnership with CommunityGiving, we have also been able to encourage the growth of philanthropy across the region by supporting the foundations in Ricori, Painesville, and Foley.
Thanks so much for those of you who have given to the Central Minnesota Response Fund. By pooling our resources since March, we have been able to give $155,000 out to our local nonprofits. That money has been used to help provide PPE, housing, rent, and food needs for those residents who were affected by COVID.
Our local nonprofits have answered the call to serve at a time when it's been harder to obtain the resources needed for general operations. Some have reduced staffing and temporarily cut programming, while others have increased the work they do without increasing staff. We turn our attention now to support our nonprofits to assure their sustainability. All sponsorship dollars raised for this virtual event will go towards this effort, as well as any additional gifts received. If you have not had the opportunity to support the nonprofits, please consider a gift today. Let's take a few moments to hear from Don Watkins, Mike and Carol Helgeson, and Jeff and Melinda Gao about why they are excited about the past, present, and future of philanthropy in Central Minnesota.
Well, I got a call one day. It was probably in summer or fall of 1984 from Al Didier. He said, Don, let's have lunch. He said, there's a new concept that I think St. Cloud should look at. And he said, let's talk about it. I want you to, okay. So he did that with several people, and then we got together for the first time. And you know, it took some time to convince people it was a good idea or whether it was even feasible. And I would guess, well, it was 84, we started, yeah, it was 6 months to a year before we really got things going. And of course, we didn't have a board together yet at that point. So once we got the board together, of course, and started to roll it, it's history.
Well, the one I've been supporting is the Women's Fund, and it's been gratifying to see it grow over 18 years to over $1 million.
Yeah, it's the Central Minnesota Arts Fund, and I think it has great potential to grow and someday have, you know, huge impact supporting, you know, aspiring artists and art organizations. And I think improving the art in our community really improves the quality of life for all of us.
Yes, and also another good fund is the Good Samaritan Fund that is there for people that are faced with unexpected expenses or crisis in their life, and they can apply for a grant and be helped through a rough patch in their life. And that fund has also grown quite a lot. So it's gratifying to see the progress.
Yeah, the Community Foundation does a great job of making the needs of the community kind of come to life for us. We participated in a couple of bus tours and then some you know, like one-on-one conversations with the agency directors and the people that are actually out there doing the work. So they do a good job of, like I said, making the needs in the community kind of come to life for us.
Well, I think the way you make an impact, of course, is you got to start with a commitment. And what the Community Foundation does is help us make that commitment. There's multiple ways you can do that when you make financial commitments to causes or to a community. And we like the fact that it's local. I really think we trust the foundation a lot. You know, it's like a bank. And so once you make the commitment, put the resources in, you put it in the right spot for future consideration. And so I think that way, the commitment's made, the dynamics of where the resources go change over time, but the commitment can be made at a point in time. And I think that's really, really helpful for us. And so we've made a commitment. And even though as we look to the future, we look out the windshield, where that gets distributed or how it gets distributed or allocated could change. I mean, times right now, as you look at it, look how different things are now than they were a year ago. What's it going to look like a year from now? We don't know. We know one thing, we can make that commitment.
Thanks to those donors. Now it's time to hear from a few nonprofits we've had the privilege to partner with.
So one of the things I personally experienced with Central Minnesota Foundation was to go over there and share my idea of what I believed would be helpful to making our community a better place for kids and families across Central Minnesota. And the reception I received from the staff, the support I received financially was unbelievable. They not only gave me seed money to start, but they also followed up and made sure that I was having success and that there was enough resources available to do the work I needed. They not only have done that, but they've continued to push our story out to across Minnesota so others are aware of the work we're doing. And in doing so, they've created other donors for us along the way that have also helped with our programming that have come through the Central Minnesota Foundation.
Local governments are not able to address all the needs of their community. And so community foundations allow people of good will and of means to use their resources to support the broader community. And the most effective way to do that is through a community foundation like the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. And then the key is to have quality people running an organization like that who can make connections in the community, as Steve and the staff here at the Community Foundation has, and develop those relationships. And you've seen the growth of the Community Foundation over the years. I mentioned when we first joined the Community Foundation back in the early 1990s, this was a relatively small foundation, and it's grown now to well over $110 million. And it just reflects the confidence that the community has in the job that the Community Foundation fulfills.
CMCF and the YMCA have had a long, rich history of partnering together, and it's just so critical. It's critical for us to, as we look to expand our mission in our community. CMCF has always been there to help make the Y a connector and connect people to the Y, especially our visions. And probably the one that stands out the most is the CMCF when they had the top 10 community priorities. The YMCA in partnership with the City of St. Cloud partnership for what is our new Y was on that priority list. And we couldn't have cast the vision, and our volunteers couldn't have thought bigger and broader without that relationship of CMCF. And so they are really this connector that just make things happen and make our community better and make Central Minnesota better.
And all this builds to 35 years of impact we've all helped to create.
I think the hardest thing is to give your time. Your time and talents, I think, is what we owe to society, more so than our financial resources.
Each of us has the opportunity to be philanthropists, to be spreaders of positive messages in our community, and every single one of us has an opportunity to make this a better community.
Actually, it's better that we share what we have rather than what else can we do with our money that is worthwhile.
Well, I think there's a certain magic in giving.
As we have throughout our life, it's time to give back. As someone once said, pay a little rent for the space God's given us on earth.
Just being able to open our minds and hearts to people who are different from us and taking opportunities that come every day.
The diversity of the community is a strength of our community, and the resources that come with that can be leveraged across the entire community.
When I was younger, they talked a lot about citizenship. But I think it was an attempt to get people to understand that, you know what, if we don't have a great community, well, maybe it's because you're not doing your part. Everything is hooked together.
We are products of our community. And giving back to our community and our time and our money helps create a better community so we become better products.
It's important to give where you live.
I think as a community, if we can think of the kids in the community as all of our kids, that is a way that would help us respond generously and creatively.
At the end of the day, it isn't about what we've done, but it's about this amazing gift we've been given, and that is to live in this community where there are so many people that are working together to improve the lives of others and make this a better place to live.
Without philanthropy, we don't have all the programs that help people that need maybe a leg up.
To me, philanthropy is one of the ways to make a community better. There's, government can get involved with helping a community, private business can get involved with helping a community, but also individuals and businesses on the side of philanthropy can very, very involved in helping communities.
There's more of a need today than ever for people to be more charitable and help the local charities.
I do truly believe that there's more satisfaction in giving than receiving, and it makes me feel good personally.
There's a good example where philanthropy really didn't live on and carried on this person's interest.
Philanthropy and the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, CommunityGiving is an excellent vehicle for providing the kind of help, assistance, and innovative programs.
I really just did my community service because I wanted to, and so to be recognized for it, thank you to the foundation.
I had a grandmother who told me that it's only you that can be accountable for your results and who you are, and don't let the negative voices change you.
Frankly, I remember a high school counselor telling me my options were secretary, nurse, or teacher. And that was about it when I got out of high school. Our girls now see any possible career as wide open to them.
I would just tell women to not let others get in their way. Be compassionate, be assertive, and be smart. Keep learning, always learn.
That is, if we educate, support, instruct women in central Minnesota, we're reaching women in Somalia, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. I think that's critical for the world today.
And education is really a leveler for everybody. It is, to me, one of the things that makes our community and our country second to none. You know, it's what helps each of us tap into our own potential and then make a difference in our community.
And it's about a region, not a community, or not a school district, but school district and community and a region coming together to say, when kids succeed, our community succeeds.
What I learned is that there's so many people in this community who care about one another. This is a wonderful community, and none of us are alone.
I have so much respect for all the women who've won prior to me. I actually find it hard to think I'm in their circle. They've all worked so hard for women and for our community.
The pride I have is in the community, in a community that proved itself and proved to the world that there's a better way to do this, that we can in fact change the course of history.
Giving of anything, of your time, of your talent, of your passion, your energy, your resources, is what makes living worthwhile.
I mean, this community has given me more than I can ever give it back. And so when you get a chance, you do the best you can to do the best you can.
Theater brings a very full experience in writing, in movement, in singing, in many other skills in a way that is different than when you just learn how to write or learn how to sing, because you do it with a purpose and it gives it that purpose to continue going, and at the same time it's fun.
But I take a moment and I look around the theater and I see the diverse audience that's there, and I think, this is bringing community together. We're all right next to each other. We're all there for entertainment. We're there for learning. And I think it's one of the most beautiful things. I think of it every time I go to the theater.
Over the years, Central Minnesota Community Foundation has recognized local businesses for their philanthropic efforts. At this time, we'd like to shine a second spotlight on these business award recipients. They are true examples of philanthropy at work.
As our community evolves and culture changes, we are focused on our core mission, engaging people, connecting resources, building community. Sometimes it takes a crisis to remind us how strong we really are. You are part of a strong community with philanthropy at work every day. We are grateful for the financial advisors who support our community by working with their clients to help them fulfill their philanthropic legacies.
Being a law firm that was considered general practice law firm, we had an estate planning practice, and I originally did quite a bit of estate planning, and you would have clients that would have some wealth and some means, and they wanted to generate a program with their estate planning that would benefit the community, not just their heirs, but they had the sufficient resources to provide for others. And so the Central Minnesota Community Foundation became just the perfect go-to vehicle.
Thank you for being our partner. The foundation continues to be here to help you to fulfill your philanthropic goals. Though the challenges ahead are unknown, we are optimistic after seeing countless examples of people helping each other during these trying times. People are giving generously of their time, their talent, and their treasure, whether it be making masks at home and distributing those to people in need, nonprofits providing food for children in the community, or educational programs that are being created in new ways to help fight isolation, or lifting up marginalized community members by standing up for them, and finally, celebrating people who are working on the front lines, The creativity and heart expressed tells me that we are fortunate to live in a community that comes together when times are hard.
On behalf of the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, I'd like to thank our donors for the past 35 years of partnering with us. And I look forward to a promising future of the continued work that we will do in our communities.
Thank you to our professional advisors for connecting resources and people to build community.
Good afternoon. I'm Holly Witt, and I'm with the Alexandria Area Community Foundation. I'd just like to send our congratulations over to the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, to Carol Turnow and her team, for all the work that they've done over the last 35 years. Congratulations. And I just wish you, and we wish you from Alexandria, great success as the foundation continues to move forward. Been a great example to me as a fairly new executive director on how to do it right. Great work. Congratulations. Continue. And we just wish you the best of luck in the future. And thanks for all you've done and that you do in your area.
Hi, this is Carl Samp of the Brainerd Lakes Area Community Foundation. I want to express my gratitude to the Central Minnesota Community Foundation for taking us in under their wings on April 30th, 1998. And since then we've been partners with CMCF and all the other community giving foundations, and it's been a great relationship for Brainerd Lakes Area Community Foundation. So thanks again for being partners with us, and continued success. Bye.
Thank you to our donors who provide resources to help us support local nonprofits.
On behalf of the Willmar Area Community Foundation, we want to wish our sister in philanthropy, the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, the very happiest of 35th birthdays. Thank you so much for your help in getting our journey started here in Willmar. We couldn't have done it without you. Cheers to the next 35 years.
Thank you very much, all the donors with the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. And I would like to say the happy holidays, and God bless you, all of you guys. And also I'll say the thank you very much, hard workers with the employees in the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, make it us happen to work a great thing for the organization. Thank you all.
Congratulations to the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. 35 years ago, Alex Didier brought together an amazing group of people who envisioned what a community foundation could be for Central Minnesota. He used to talk about how not everybody believed in that vision, but he and the others believed if we build it, they will come. And that's exactly what has happened. Especially during this time of COVID, the Community Foundation has been there to support the nonprofits and support the community in many different ways. We'd like to say a very special thank you to the donors who make all the work of the Community Foundation possible. Without the donors finding creative and innovative ways to use the Community Foundation to achieve their charitable goals and to give back to the local community, we wouldn't exist. So a huge thank you to those donors. Also, a very special thank you to the professional advisors, the attorneys, the accountants, the financial planners, who are the partners in helping the Community Foundation support and help and assist the donors in giving back. To the nonprofits who are on the ground floor and the front lines, day in and day out, making a difference in this community and in many others. It just doesn't happen without the nonprofits. Thank you for the great work that you do. And to the volunteers, the Community Foundation wouldn't be where it is today if we didn't have an amazing group of leaders over the years who've donated both time, their talent, and resources to grow the foundation, to envision what it could become, and then to support that vision and guide it. They provide the credibility and the accountability that has made all the work of the foundation possible. And finally, I'd like to say a very special thanks to the staff, especially to Carol Turnow and her leadership over the last 5 years. The Central Minnesota Community Foundation has continued to emerge as a community leader, and the many staff behind the scenes who are there to support the work of the Community Foundation. 35 years. Amazing work has happened in those years. Thank you for all you've done. We really appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Terry Foster, Donor Services Director for the Community Foundation for Carver County. And on behalf of the board, staff, and myself, we would like to congratulate the Central Minnesota Community Foundation for 35 years of excellence. Congratulations to the founders, staff, board members, and the entire St. Cloud area for achieving this milestone. CMCF is well positioned to continue the mission of community giving to engage people, connect resources, and build community. The Community Foundation for Carver County is so appreciative of CMCF's experience, mentoring, and partnership through the Community Giving Network to help us grow and develop more quickly and to create a lasting legacy that will someday be admired as much as their own. Congratulations, CMCF.
Thank you for giving of your time, talent, and treasure.
Thank you, Central Minnesota, for your continued support and generosity. Together we build strong, healthy communities that are welcoming to all. Thank you.
Thank you for your support of the Central Minnesota Community Foundation, which will go to support future generations.
Thank you for being there for others in their time of need.
Thank you to our nonprofit partners who have directly impacted our communities and our residents within our communities. Our partners have demonstrated innovation and commitment in carrying out their respective missions. We are grateful and we look forward to building strong, healthy communities for years to come. Thank you.
I am personally so grateful to all of you for joining us as we celebrate 35 years of the Central Minnesota Community Foundation. 2020 has been a disruptor for all of us. And as challenging as this has been, connecting as a community has never been more important. We have all attended many virtual galas and celebrations in these unprecedented times. So, in choosing to celebrate with CMCF, you are confirming your support for the work of the foundation. With deepest gratitude, I thank you for making it possible for our community to grow as CMCF continues to build bridges and make connections.
A heartfelt thanks to all of you for allowing us to be your partner in philanthropy at work. Together, we make tomorrow better.
Be well and have a safe holiday season. Good night.